Well, he was a surprise. We didn't know his gender. We wanted it to be a surprise. We knew Daniela was a girl, and we wanted him to be a surprise. So we were delighted that he was a boy. We had one of each, and he was a great baby. Never fussy, sweet, beautiful.
It was really we feel like a miracle how it was found, you know?
He was having fainting spells.
That's right.
When he got overly excited, over playful. My mom was encouraging to go get it checked out, and we did, and he's like, don't worry about it, it happens all the time. Let's do blood work anyway, because it could be like a low iron thing. And I thought, hold Sean. We came home, we sat home with the requisition for 2 weeks. A couple weeks later, my husband had to do some work. He was like, oh, I'll take Ollie with me, we'll do it together. Perfect. They called us that next day. He said, take him to Mac. His blood work is abnormal. Get there right away. We've called ahead and they're expecting you.
They just said his blood cell count is out and he needs to go to Mac right away.
I thought maybe it was pneumonia or something. I'm like, maybe it's a lingering cold that's showing his high numbers.
It was an emergency situation. They brought us right into emergency, and they came and they did some blood work on Oliver. Doing laps around the emergency room. They're like, why did you even bring him to the hospital?
Here?
Yeah.
He doesn't even look sick.
And they came back to us within half an hour, and they sat down with us.
It was Dr. Stacy.
Has leukemia.
She came. I said, that's cancer. She's like, yes. And I'm like, that's not right.
Because a lot of times, children with his condition, they show signs like they're getting sick, right? They get weak, they get tired. But with him, it was the passing out. And when we got there, they said, oh, the passing out has nothing to do with his diagnosis. And he hasn't passed out since he was diagnosed.
So we call it a miracle that we found out when we did. And what validated that was, they said, if you would have brought him here 2 weeks ago, when you first got that blood work requisition, there wouldn't have been anything in his blood to be detected. And then you would have brought him home, he would have started having symptoms, and you would have got significantly sick in the next few weeks. Because they drilled us. He doesn't bruise easily. Does he have a cut on his knee that didn't heal? I said, he's perfect. Like, you guys got to be reading this wrong.
They started treatment within 12 hours, the very next day.
They got him in for a procedure to put his port in by Monday. And they gave him a little procedure to administer chemo right through his chest.
McMaster was amazing. They didn't want to wait with Oliver. They're like, you got him in here. He's very early diagnosed, but the sooner we can get his treatment started, the better. So within 24 hours, he was having procedures and getting put to sleep. He's been put to sleep more times, in his life.
They pretty much just coached us. They said, it's a lot. We're gonna take you a step at a time. We're only gonna tell you as things happen. We're not gonna give it to you all at once. And that was exactly what anybody needed, because it was too much. It was a week before his second birthday that we found out, and we came home a day before his birthday. So we had a little quick party for him, and they told us he's gonna lose his hair. I said, I called my photographer friend. I said, get over here and get us some family shots. And by Christmas, he was bald. The couple of weeks he was on steroids, like he beefed up. I'm like, who is this kid? Like his eyes were like slanted because his cheeks were so puffed up. He changed his look so much that I didn't even recognize my own child.
We want to give something back to the hospital because they've been so good to us and so good to Oliver. To the Child Life group and to the Pediatric Oncology unit, directly to the hospital, to McMaster.
It's those doctors and nurses that they're amazing, and they need the recognition. They don't get it enough. Pulling 12-hour shifts. I would bawl my face off all shift long. There's no way I can do their job.
Good boy.
And they're the real superheroes, and they need to be recognized. Because it truly takes superheroes to do their kind of jobs and see the sickness and suffering that they see every day and still
put on a smile.
They're always rainbows and sunshine. It's just.
We have a great team. Dr. Stacy is his head doctor. She's been phenomenal with him and with us. And then he's got a special friend there named Nate. Nate is
we call him the hospital Santa.
Yes. So Nate is a child life specialist.
Yes.
He is part of that team at the hospital. And what they do is all kids, not just pediatric oncology kids, but they go there to help kids throughout procedures, through needles, through any hard times that they're going through.
So we hope by sharing Oliver's story, we can help other children like him by raising money for the Pediatric Oncology Department and Child Life Specialists at McMaster Children's Hospital. Any donations, big or small, go directly to these departments in hopes that we save another child like him.
I have to recognize this girl here.
I think it was a bit of an adjustment at first because I don't think she quite got it, what was going on. He has a little device in his chest, like you gotta be careful, no shoving, no, rough housing.
Daniela's been fantastic.
Been very helpful.
She's the only reason Oliver takes his medicine orally.
That's right. Got her involved too, so we'll give her her own little syringe of apple juice or Gatorade or something. And now we don't even have to ask him. We're like, here, and he just pops it in his mouth. Like, it's incredible. Why us, right? Why him? He's perfect. He's just a boy. Like, did he smoke too much? Did he drink too much? Did he, you know what I mean? Like, all as young adults, we all abuse our bodies throughout life. But I mean, he hasn't even had a standing chance yet. He's already in the biggest battle of his life.
He's the most resilient.
He's had it rough. I mean, in the middle of the night, throwing up, and then, okay, mommy, I feel better.
I can say the worst day for us was, I think the first time he went under for surgery. And they had to put him to sleep, to put in a power port so that they could give him his chemotherapy treatments easier. I remember Monica going in on the gurney or whatever it's called, the hospital bed with him.
Yeah.
And she was just, came out bawling her face off because,
He was scared, so I was there to comfort him. So that was an extremely hard day.
Now we're fortunate enough to be at the stage where he's there once a month for checkups. And every 3 months he goes for a lumbar puncture. It's a procedure where they put him to sleep.
And they take spinal fluid from his spine.
And they inject some chemotherapy in there. And he's gonna be in treatment for a total of 2.5 years. He makes it easy.
Oh.
He does. He's so resilient. He's so tough. He's been exceptionally resilient and strong throughout all this. So all these represent every time he's had like a finger poke or been put under or have had a procedure. And I think there's still another 10 or 15 beads that we haven't added yet.
Some of these beads, what we've seen, are like 20 feet long.
Does it say courage? And look, this is a bead because you barfed. And this is a bead because you were so strong and got a teddy bear. And this is a bead because your family's there for you.
It's really hard to hear that your kid is sick. Because you see the commercials all those life and you feel bad. And then when it's your own son, you're like, how can this be? But it'll be okay. The support is there, and take the support because they are all there to help you and guide you and take you step by step. And that is the only way you're gonna do it, is a step at a time.
And he still has a journey ahead of him. He's not over. He still has 1.5 years to go, and we could be in the hospital for the next 1.5 years. We don't know. It's a real eye-opener once you get there to the hospital and you see. And
Yeah, you think you're having a bad day.
It's been devastating on our family. On the other hand, we're at this hospital and you're looking at these other kids who don't get to go home with their parents and who don't get to play and who don't, the hospital's their home. Oliver's story is a story of, the courage and, strength and blessings and all these kids, just really deserve some help. There you go.
Mwah.